Hi there, folks. So this is the 1919 Standard Plumbing Catalog. I've already shot a video of just a quick flip through of the toilets, both the cast iron and the china section. And I'm going to make a series of videos, I don't think I'll do it all in one, of just some highlights of this catalog of the more interesting fixtures from that time. So this is the section of the catalog that has porcelain enameled cast iron fixtures, and what that means is this is a cast iron sink, and what they do when they manufacture these is they cast a sink out of cast iron and then they heat it up red hot and they sprinkle ground glass all over it. And when the glass hits the hot cast iron, it melts into a solid glass, literally glass coating. And that's the enamel. That's the porcelain enamel on a cast iron fixture. And they can color it. They can make it any color they want. So the toilets and urinals in this section of the catalog are all made that way. So that's a cast iron siphon jet toilet bowl, and then a forward trap. These have automatic pressure tanks, which I will probably address in a different section, different video. These are cast iron tanks. These were often used in prisons by that time. And this here is what's called a hopper closet, because the toilet bowl is basically a funnel shape with a trap below the toilet, so there wouldn't even be any standing water in the toilet bowl. It was a totally dry bowl. And these did not stay very clean. In fact, they're against plumbing code these days. But that type of toilet bowl is called a hopper closet. And so these are called frost-proof closets. And you'll see it's a hopper type toilet bowl. And then these could be installed a number of ways, but the idea is this is a toilet that you would install in a place where you didn't want the toilet to freeze. So you could have a toilet in a room, let's say it was an outdoor building of some kind. And then the trap of the toilet is actually in a space below that might be something like a basement that was somewhat insulated and heated by the ground. Basements don't typically freeze. And so the standing water in the trap could be down in a warmer place if the toilet had to be up someplace where it might freeze. And there's different styles here. You'll notice, let's see, the water supply for the toilet comes in, and the flush valve, this version does not have a tank at all. So the way this worked was the water supply came into a valve, and then it went up to flush the bowl. It was just a rim flush bowl. The way you flushed this toilet was you'd push the seat down, and when the seat was pressed all the way down, usually you'd have to press it down or sit on the seat. When the seat was pressed down on the bowl, it would actually work a rod that switched the valve on, and at that point the water would flow up and flush the bowl, flush the toilet. When you got off the seat would pop up and it would close this water valve. And then at that point, while this water valve was closed, it was actually designed so that this length of the flush pipe would drain away very slowly back into this heated space, so that while the toilet was sitting idle, not being used, not even the flush pipe would still be full of water, and it would drain, it wouldn't freeze, and that way you could use it sometime later and not expect the flush pipe, water pipe, to be all frozen. So that's a frost-proof closet. The most popular frost-proof closets are by far the Joseph Vogel toilets. They made a toilet that was just like that, that was frost-proof. They were much more common than these standard toilets. And these are a couple different versions that just simply have a tank to flush, to give some more pressure during the flush, whereas this one just flushed straight off of a water supply and it wouldn't have had as good of a flush. But this one has the tank down below where it would have been warmer. This one has the tank up high, but again, it would have been designed so that when the toilet wasn't being used, this tank would stay empty, and everything would drain back down into the heated space. And when you put the seat down and sat on it, only then would it fill the tank. And it would take, a couple minutes to fill or whatever. And then when you got off the seat, the whole tank would flush into the bowl and it would flush the toilet. And once it would exhaust the tank, and when the tank was exhausted, it would remain empty. Any residual water that might be in there would drain back down into the heated space. So the toilet would never freeze, theoretically. So that's how these frost-proof toilets worked.